Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a lovely day so far. So in today's video I'm doing a full face of makeup. I'm sitting down with you today and doing a full face of makeup, but the star of the show today is going to be this palette here. This is the Sample Beauty The Plush palette. I have never tried anything from Sample Beauty before. I've been eyeing this palette up for a while, and when we get into it you'll see why. But I saw this on Beauty Bay and there was 40% off, so I got it. I got it immediately, and actually it was in a bundle with this palette here, the Blooming Lovely palette. I'm going to be getting into this in a different video, so if you want to see that one as well, subscribe because that one will be coming soon. But today we are just focusing on the Plush palette, and I'm going to be swatching all of the colours and creating an eye look, and then like finishing the rest of my face and getting ready for the day. So like I say, this is the Plush palette, and that is what the colours look like inside. Obviously this whole row is screaming my name. They are the most incredible colours. This to me feels very much like an everyday sort of wearable palette. The colours are more sort of muted, more jewel tones, and I feel like the top two rows are very much neutral brown, warm brown shades that I would just wear on an everyday basis. I've just dug my finger into one already, that wasn't intentional. And then the bottom rows are obviously more colourful. So I feel like if you are just getting into colour, this looks like it could potentially be a very, very good option, because you have like the safer options and then you also have a few little pops of colour. So let me go off, do the swatches, and then I will come back and we can create an eye look together. I have already done my brows and I've also put on a new eye base. So this is the Beauty Bay eye base in the shade 2. I've put that across my lids and we're going to be testing this out as well to see how it goes. The brows that I put on is the XX Revolution Faux Brow. Let me get into the swatches. I'm so excited. So first up we have Champagne, and this is a beautifully reflective champagne-y goldy shade. I wouldn't really say that that was a champagne shade for me, but very, very beautiful nonetheless. Then we have Swanky, and that is like my perfect transition tone. That's not as pigmented as I was expecting it to be. Obviously, like, I'm testing out the formulas for the first time here. Then we have Luxe. Ooh, that's pretty. Just a warm sort of neutrally brown, whack it in your crease and you're done. Then we have Loafer, and I just think that that shade is so funny. Like loafer, like a loaf of bread. Again, really, really beautiful neutral tones for blending through the crease. Then next up is another matte, and this one is called First Class, and that is like a beautiful burnt orange matte. That's really, really pigmented actually. Then we have the shade Grand, and this one is a shimmer. Ooh, look at that, that's like a bronze. That on blue eyes, oh my gosh, that's going to look incredible. Then onto the second row we have Dainty, which is sort of like a ballet slipper, sort of neutrally pink shade. Then we have Delicate, which is just a tiny little bit brighter, not necessarily darker, but just a little bit brighter. I will go over those last two. So they do build up, but they are obviously light pink shades. I have light pink skin. It was never going to show up as the most intense colour, but obviously these ones to like blend out, beautiful. Then still on this second row we have the shade Elite, and this is almost like a wine cranberry sort of shade. That has swatched really strangely, like where I first put my finger down, that's like really grabbed, but very, very pigmented. Then we have Trait, and this is just a little bit darker again and a little bit more brown, a little bit less red. I really, really like these shades for like smoking out right on the lash line, something like this with blue eyes. I feel like it really makes it pop. Those colours are beautiful. Then we have Swish. Yeah, that is a really inky, dark black. That's so pretty. Then we have Americano, and I'm laughing because that's my coffee order. But that is not what my coffee looks like. That is a lot more sheer than I was expecting it to be. Let me see if I can build that up. Yeah, a little bit. Not the most interesting brown. I feel like there are more interesting browns out there, but very useful. And all of this row were matte. So that second row down, from Dainty to Americano, all of those were matte. So then on to the third row. This shade is called Antique. And as I pressed my finger into that, it almost had like a spongy sort of texture to it. Like it was creamy, like my finger actually went into the shade. But I was expecting a little bit more than that. That is not showing up as much as I thought it would. And it's like an antique-y, goldy, almost like greeny shade. But that is not showing up as much as I thought it would. Then next up we have Upmarket. Wow, okay, that is a lot more pigmented than I was expecting it to be. And that is like a beautiful matte turquoise. Then we have Snazzy. Yeah, that's a bit of me in it. That is a shimmer, but that's so pretty. If you don't know, like, these are my favourite sort of shades. Then we have Luscious. Oh yeah, and that's another one. Like, that swatch would have just carried on going. Like, there's so much left on my hand from those last two. So then next up is another matte, and this one is like a forest green, and this one is called Overspending, and that looks beautiful. Very pigmented again. And then we have Classy, and this is another like very dark one. So I thought that this one was a matte, this one called Swish, I thought that that was a matte black, but I feel like this one is more black, although on there that's almost looking like it's a navy. That's really pretty though, very pigmented. Then on to the last row, and I'm running out of room. This is another matte, and this one is called Superb, and that's like a mauvey neutrally tone. Then we have Ripsy, and this one almost felt the same as Antique, this one up here, where it felt sort of spongy in the pan, but that one looks a lot more pigmented. That's almost like a duochrome, like it's got a bit of blue in it. I don't even know if that's showing up on camera. I can't, when I'm stood up like this and doing the swatches, I can't actually see the viewfinder. So I hope I'm in shot, and I hope I'm in focus. And then right down at this end, onto the last four, we have the shade Caliber, and that is just like a standard sort of royal purple. Ooh, and that is looking a little bit patchy. I was expecting that to come out a lot better than it has there. Then we have La Di Da, which looks a little bit just more blue toned, a very similar tone, but just a little bit more blue. Which, yeah, they have come out very similar. Very patchy, but very similar. Then we have Golly Gosh. I loved that name. Which is almost like a shimmery version of the last two, almost like a bluey purple. And then the last one, right down on my elbow here, is Rare, and that's a matte, and that one is like a true, like, indigo, like navy indigo. So if I just step back a little bit, you might be able to see all of the colours there. So we have Champagne, Swanky, Luxe, Loafer, First Class, Grand, Dainty, Delicate, Elite, Trait, Swish, Americano, Antique, Upmarket, Snazzy, Luscious, Overspending, Classy, Superb, Ripsy, Caliber, La-di-da, golly gosh, and rare. So that is all of the shades there. I really hope that these like shimmers are showing up as incredible as they really are. I feel like I'm definitely going to use this one. I feel like I could do 2 looks, like a neutral look with this half and then a colourful look with this half. I'm going to try and just keep it to 1 look because I don't want to look crazy for the rest of the day. So this one is calling my name as like an inner corner highlight, and then obviously these ones, beautiful. The purples I feel are a little bit underwhelming, like they're just a little bit patchy, not really showing up as pigmented as I was expecting them to do, but let's just try and create some sort of look here. So I'm just looking at the swatches and thinking about what I want to do. I think what I'm going to do is try and test out some more of these like purpley shades, because I feel like these are more patchy and not necessarily the greatest on the swatch. I feel like I want to try and give them a go on the eye, probably blend them out with some of these neutral ones, probably put that on my inner corner because that is incredible. So let's just dive straight in. I'm going to take a little sort of flat packing brush and dip into the shade Caliber, which was that more of a royal purple. Dip into that one. It does look very, very pigmented on the brush. I will tap it off and then I will just stamp that in the crease. Once I've tapped out that creasing in the Beauty Bay base, I'll stamp that through, more so on like the outer half. And I am doing my eyes first, which I feel like it always throws me off because I'm like, I just can't take myself seriously with all of this redness on my cheeks. But I'm not sure how much like fallout there's going to be or anything like that. So playing it safe, doing my eyes first. So once I've got that colour down, I'm going in with a clean brush, absolutely no product on there, and I'm just going to blend over the edges. Obviously with that base down, that's made it like really, really grip. But I'm hoping to just blend this out a little bit. It's looking a little bit patchy here, but I think that's probably more my blending technique than the actual product. I'm just dipping that fluffy brush into the shade Dainty, which was that light pink, and I'm just going to use that to help buff out the edges, although I feel like that's done a really good job just like blending out on its own. I'm just going to use a little bit of that just to help it on its way. Yeah, so far happy with that. Very, very pigmented. Just going to try even up this side a little bit. Yeah, so far I am liking it. I'm going to go in with, what am I going to go in with? I feel like I want to try some of these like greeny, purple and green. How do I feel about that? I think I'm going to try it. I think I'm just going to use my finger, which is stained by the way from those colours. I'm going to dip into Upmarket, this one, just to get a little bit of a pop across like the inner part of the lid. I might just do a fully matte look today, apart from that champagne shade on the inner corner. I feel like I need that. I feel like that packed on really, really nicely just with my finger, and obviously with that tacky base underneath as well. I feel like that has packed on really, really nicely. I'm just buffing over with the same brush. No more product, but just making sure that it's blended right through the crease. I'm happy with that. That colour is incredible. Oh my gosh. That's so pigmented. Oh, I love it. Okay, so I realise I am like flipping flopping all over the place, but I'm going to go into Golly Gosh, which was that purpley shimmery shade. I know I literally just said that I was going to do a whole matte look, but I feel like I need to try out a shimmer, like I need to give it a go. So I'm going to tap that on the like outer half. Ooh, that is pretty. Okay. So I'm just going to blend that matte blue and the shimmery purple. Just try and blend that out a little bit. Also blend it into that first purple that we put down on the outer corner. I'm not too worried about all of this mess. We'll get that in a minute. Okay, so after a little minute trying to blend those out, I feel like the middle section is now really nicely blended. So I'm just going to go back in with that Golly Gosh shade, which was that shimmer, and just make sure all of that's blended on the outer corner. And then one last blend with that fluffy brush, not with any more colour on it, but just a light hand to buff over that. And I feel like I am happy with how that looks. That upmarket shade is absolutely incredible. I can't get over that, that's so bright. I absolutely love that shade. I mean, I knew from the swatches that those greens were going to be incredible, but I wasn't necessarily expecting this shade here, this pastel, to come out like that on the lid. That just looks incredible. Right, I'm going to take some micellar water on a cotton pad and I'm just going to do that. Just going to make that really nice and sharp on the outer corner. I've also got a lot like under the eye here, so give me a sec. Okay, so let me zoom you out and we can do the rest of the face, and then I will decide what I want to do under the eyes, because I'm feeling like, I don't know what I'm feeling like, something under the eyes, and definitely that champagne on the inner corner. Okay, so I'm going to use my Sleek In Your Tone foundation because I feel like I want something quite matte and also like a decent amount of coverage. So let me just tap this onto all of this redness so that we can start getting rid of all of that. I feel like this is going to look instantly better once I have gotten rid of this redness in my cheeks. So I feel like that has evened everything out nicely, but I still feel like I've got quite a lot of redness in the centre here. So I'm going to go in with the Revolution IRL Filter Concealer. This is in the shade C3, and I'm going to put quite a bit under my eyes and also basically all over my cheeks. I'm also going to put a little bit underneath the outer corner here so that I can use it to like sharpen up that line. And I'm going to start blending this out on the cheeks with my sponge, but I'll probably get a brush to get right in here. Yes, I feel like that looks much better now that I've like gotten rid of all of that was going on my cheeks. I'm going to use my Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer, which I have in my project pan. I posted, I'm trying to look for my brush whilst I talk. I posted an update to my project pan journey. I feel like I'm doing quite well. I will link it up here if you want to see that. How does a person lose a brush that they use every single day? It's here. Found it. For blush, I'm going to use this one, which is the Revolution Blusher Reloaded in Rhubarb and Custard, because I feel like I don't want anything that's too pink. I know it's blush, but I feel like I just want something that's a little bit more neutrally rather than too bright, because I already feel like there's still a lot of that pink showing through my skin. So just a little touch of this on the cheeks and across the nose, of course. Let me just do the lips before I decide what I'm going to do under the eyes. So I'm just going to go with my Essence 8 Hour Matte Comfort Lip Liner in Rosy Nude. Then I'm going to tap over the top of that with the MUA Creamy Matte Lipstick in Super Nude, because I want something nude. And then over the top of that, I'm just going to tap over a little bit of this, which is the MUA Satin Sheen Lip Stylo, and this is in the shade Super Nude as well. That combination, beautiful. That's like nude, but I love it. Right, so let's finish off the eyes. What colour do I want under the eyes? So I did Caliber on the outer corner of the top lid. So do I do Caliber? Do I just sort of do the same, or is that really boring? I think I might just do the same, you know. I'm even going to use the same brush. Just stamp that along. Do I just do that all the way along? I might just do that one on the outer corner I'm just going to tap this very, very lightly over that line where I like cleaned it up, just to soften that a little bit so it doesn't look so sharp. I am probably going to go in with a wing. I'm just going to take a really small little flat brush and I'm going to dip into that champagne shade, which looks incredible. Can you even see that? It looks so blinding, and I'm going to tap that right on the inner corner and sort of drag it along the under eye as well. As I suspected, that champagne shade is incredible. That's so bright. Right, I am going to go off, do a wing, probably put something nude in the waterline just to brighten that back up a little bit. Yeah, liner, mascara, maybe even lashes, who knows. And then I'll be right back. Okay, so that is me done. First impressions on this palette. I'm so impressed. Even the shades that came out slightly patchy, like the few purpley shades that I tried, went on the eyes so incredibly smooth. I can't remember exactly how much I paid for this palette. I think it was around about £12, and I feel like this is incredible. And I'm not just saying that because I'm obsessed with that colour that I put on the inner corner. I feel like the pigment on these, on the eyes rather than on the swatches, I feel like is absolutely incredible. I would say that it is like around about the level of like my Beauty Bay palettes. I feel like it's quite similar, where it's very, very sort of user friendly, like you can stamp the colour on very, very easily, which I love, and it also like blends out. I feel like the colour story in this palette, obviously it's the only one that I've tried, but I feel like the colour story is so unique. Like I don't have anything that has this level of neutrals and then this level of like pops of colour, so I feel like I could use this like solidly for like a month and get a completely different look every single time. There's so much variety in such a small and compact palette. I really, really enjoy it. I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I do. Obviously I have been like looking at this for a while on the Beauty Bay website thinking, oh, how beautiful it would be, but now that I have it, I am just so impressed. So that is my review. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you think of the look. If there's any other palettes from Sample Beauty that you think I need to try, obviously I have the Blooming Lovely palette as well, so that review will be coming incredibly soon. But if there's anything else that you think I need to pick up from them, then do let me know, because I'm very, very impressed. So let me know what you think. Let me know if there's any other products that you think I need. But until next time, thank you ever so much for watching. Bye.